in Madison, Wisconsin, and we saw it on the men's side how tricky this final event can truly be.
Individual event number 14, the last one of the weekend. We've got an 8-minute cap to do 4 ascents up and down the pegboard for our ladies. 40 thrusters with a relatively lightweight barbell at 55 pounds, and that's when it gets heavy, Brandon. Start off with the yoke carry at 345 pounds, then 405 pounds, then finish it for the last 33 feet with 445 pounds.
Now, we had our math professor earlier this week. Now Mike Arsenault going to double as our history professor. Mike, take it away.
Thanks, Brandon. The story of Aeneas was told in Virgil's Aeneid. He was the son of a Trojan prince and the goddess Aphrodite, and when Rome fell, Aeneas was forced to carry his father out of the burning city. The ladies here on the competition floor will be carrying the yoke across the finish line.
Thank you, Mike. We'll have a field of 7. As an update, Jen Smith was cut after event number 13 due to failing to hit the minimum work requirement. So that lowers our field here. And there's a couple of athletes we got our eye on, including Lauren Fisher.
4-time games competitor, has experience on the pegboard, and experience is going to be a huge factor here.
Somebody with experience competing in this area in Big Ten country is Paige Semenza, former hockey player at The Ohio State University, and somebody that also has a powerlifting background, which could translate pretty well when it comes to this final event. And action underway for the last time here as event 14 is set to go. Starting with 4 pegboard ascent and descents, about 15 feet high, the traverse that these athletes are making.
Brandon, one of the things that I'm looking at right away is just accuracy with those pegs, making sure that we hit the holes, try to be careful not to rush. You don't want to go too fast, but you need to keep your speed up. The second thing that we're going to look for in this event is to just be strong. It pays to be strong. You need exposure at these really heavy yoke weights. If you've trained with the yoke, that's great, but if you haven't trained with the yoke in multiples of your body weight, 3, 3.5, even 4 times whatever your body weight is, then you're missing something in your training, especially at this level.
Heat leader is the smallest athlete in heat number 1, and she's on the right side of the screen. It's Meredith Root. Her name highlighted in blue. Everybody else will be in red. If you see a minus number, that's how many reps they are behind the lead. And the woman that wasn't even in the list of games athletes 2 weeks ago, an alternate that got here after a disqualification occurred ahead of her from the West Regional. She is out in front and will be a moment away from just having 1 pegboard ascent and descent remaining. Lauren Fisher closing in on what would be her 2nd completed rep.
We don't really have a time comparison. In the men's, they were going up and down 5 ascents in about 1 minute and 20 seconds. We saw Josh Bridges do it. So we're looking to set a benchmark here for our ladies.
Danny Moran, 1 rep remaining. In the blue pants near the top of the screen, that's Meredith Root. Our heat leader, if she can control this descent and get both the pegs below the red line, she'll be off to the races and moving on to the 55-pound barbell. I like what she did there, though, with the composure. She tried to get below the red line in one big swing, decided that she needed to cut that movement in half, and she saved the rep. She's onto the barbell, but in the meantime, while she fought with it, Paige Semenza moved ahead of her and is starting work on the set of 40 thrusters.
And right here, what we're looking for, Brandon, they've got 40 thrusters with 55 pounds, relatively lightweight. What they're trying to do here is to do them maybe 1, 2, 3 breaks at most. And Dave Castro did something really clever. Rather than spread out those advanced markers where the athletes are taking steps forward, he put them really, really close. That encourages the athletes to keep the barbell overhead. You can see the numbers on the floor right there in yellow. That tells the athlete what number they're on, 10, 20, 30, 40. They're very close together and encourages the athletes to go fast and keep that barbell overhead.
Seeing our leaders at the top of the screen, Semenza and Root. Both taking advantage of the little step forward every 10 reps. Semenza this time dropping the barbell. She's already through 30 of 40 reps. Root just a couple of reps behind her. As it's a couple of rookies that are holding off Danny Horan, a 5-time games qualifier, in third. Top three all on the screen. Horan on the right in third, Root in the middle in second, and Paige Semenza is making her way to the yoke. It's 345 pounds on this implement. Looks like zero issue for Paige Semenza. She quickly advances that yoke 33 feet. She'll load up a pair of 15s, and I like this strategy, just getting the plates as close as possible.
Exactly right. She just chucks them back there so that she doesn't have to go underneath the yoke twice.
Meredith Root, smallest athlete in the heat at just 133 pounds. Not much of an issue with this lighter weight on the yoke. As we go from 345 to 405 pounds.
What we're looking for is to keep that yoke as still as possible. You can tell she's doing a great job. There's not much lateral movement left to right, almost no forward or pendulum movement front to back. She's doing a great job of keeping it still. Now she's going to add weight up to 445 pounds.
Best finish this weekend for Semenza was 14th in the speed clean and jerk ladder. She's only had 3 finishes in the top 20, but she is in good position to capitalize here on the final event. Just playing to her strengths. 33 feet remaining. Lauren Fisher made it to the finish line. That's because she had to retrieve another peg as she's struggling on the peg climb. But Paige Semenza, no struggle at all. She'll take the heat and set the top time after our opener, 5 minutes, 32.36 seconds. Danny Horan has taken second position away from Meredith Root. Root had to drop the yoke about halfway through the second length of 33 feet.
Now as these athletes get set to pick up this final weight at 445, my recommendation for them would be to take a big breath in, try to fill up your chest with air the best you can, hang on to your breath, tiny little breaths to make sure you keep yourself pressurized, and then move as quickly as you can with those short steps.
Unbroken on the last length for Danny Horan, and she'll be second in the heat. 6 minutes, 19.09 seconds. Curious how this goes for our third place athlete, as Meredith Root, again the lightest athlete here in heat number 1. Started to have a struggle in that second length when the yoke got up to 405. It's up to 445, and you can see her fighting this one big time. Got through about 10 feet of the 33 required here in the final length, as we're 1 minute away from the time cap, and there's several athletes that are in danger of not meeting minimum work, as you have to complete the 40 thrusters, and Lauren Fisher, I don't think has enough time to do so, as she's going to have to get another peg. Back in the run for third, which solely belongs to Meredith Root. Another 10 feet or so remaining. And this is clever for Lauren Fisher. She pretty much tossed aside the pegs that she had to retrieve earlier. She went and grabbed them. That was allowed. Meredith Root looking to close this one out in third. Took her a few shots, but she got across the line at 7 minutes and 47 seconds, and the end of the weekend is a good one for the game's alternate that made the field, as Brista Mayfield gets to the second line. As it's Paige Semenza that takes heat number 1 at 5:32.36 seconds to set the table for the athletes in our final 3 heats.
But Brandon, one of the reasons why this event is so interesting is because it combines this high skill pegboard up and down, and you can see Lauren Fisher here struggling, trying to make things work. She has to drop off. She ends up leaving the pegs up. She had to run across. Danny Horan here did something really interesting. I caught her counting her rest. You can see her do it before every single ascent, making sure to chalk up those hands, measuring her rest. You can see her mouthing the words. But then it was Paige Semenza all the way across the floor. Every single carry was exactly the same. Big breath in, short choppy step, no lateral movement. And you can see her at that 445-pound yoke weight. It didn't look any different. The pacing was exactly the same. No lateral or no forward movement back and forth from the yoke. She did a great job in this event.
Semenza was the first of only 3 finishers here in heat number 1. Within that 8-minute time cap, she sets the tone at 5 minutes, 32.36 seconds. Danny Horan, Meredith Root, the other 2 athletes to complete this. Lauren Fisher and Stephanie Chung did not get through the pegboard ascents. Got to get through the thrusters, or else you fail to meet the minimum work requirement. And if you're wondering, yes, it is that difficult, and this points race is not over yet. As it's been shown here, that is a tough test to meet. So 1 heat in the books, 3 heats remain for the ladies here in event number 14. Heat 2 coming up next. Welcome back to the Coliseum as we're ready for heat number 2 in women's event number 14, AENEAS. Brandon Domain, Rob Orlando, and Mike Arsenault with you here at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin, as we are ready to close out the weekend of competition for the athletes here in our second heat.
Well, Brandon, individual event number 14, the last one of the weekend, is an 8-minute cap to do 4 ascents up and down the pegboard, 40 thrusters with a relatively lightweight barbell at 55 pounds, but that's when things get heavy. We're going to carry a yoke in 33 feet increments, starting at 345 pounds and working our way all the way to 445 pounds.
8-minute time cap to clarify from earlier. No minimum work requirement here in this one for the ladies, as in heat number 2 we will have 8 athletes, couple with experience when it comes to the pegboard, perhaps none more so than the 2015 winner of the pegboard event, Margot Alvarez.
Experience so important here, and in 2015 she won the pegboard event.
One woman that has made a name for herself this weekend after finishes of 35th and 39th in her first 2 games appearances, Madeline Sturt, in day number 2 was as high as 7th place in the point standings. Her first 2 seasons, her average event finish was 31st. One more run for the ladies here in heat number 2 as we're underway as they try to chase down Paige Simmons' time of 5:32.36.
Brandon, the keys to this event is, and first and foremost, is accuracy on the pegboard itself. You need to be able to get up and down that pegboard and not leave your pegs in the board itself. That forces you to run all the way across the floor and grab another set from a judge. Second, it just pays to be strong. If you haven't been training with a yoke in your training program at this level with 2, 3, even 4 times your body weight, then you're missing out.
Margot Alvarez smoothly making her way up the pegboard, and when this was posted by Dave Castro as a bit of a rude wake-up call for these athletes this morning on his Instagram page, Margot probably woke up with a smile seeing the pegboards back as the winner of the 2015 event, one of only 3 women in that field able to complete all the pegboard ascents in that event.
I absolutely love this event because it's so high skill, it's so technical, and then we've got that middle part where the thrusters, you're going to hit red line. You're going to bump right into that red line with 40 thrusters at a relatively lightweight barbell.
Alvarez making her way back up. She's in the 2nd position because Madeline Sturt, you see her name highlighted in blue, she is out in front and working on the barbell for the set of 40 thrusters with a 55-pound bar. This is the middle movement of this 3-part chipper to close out a long, long weekend of competition.
Long weekend for sure, Brandon. It was an incredible competition from start to finish. You can look at the screen here with the crit, the muscle up, the CrossFit total, just brute strength. Then we're going to go ahead and row 42,000 meters. The battleground, just looking through how much work has been done over the last 13 events going into 14. Very impressive.
I feel like all weekend long we've tried to pinpoint one thing that the games have targeted. It's got to be grip, it's got to be grip, it's got to be the legs, it's got to be the pulling muscles in the back. Let's just say it's targeted the entire body over the first 13
No
events.
question, and I think that's really the point here, is that we're testing capacity across broad time and modal domains, and I think that is CrossFit's hallmark.
Nobody else has gotten through the pegboard portion of this event, and Madeline Sturt is well out in front. And Margot struggling to get up this pegboard. This would be her 4th. She is one of 7 athletes working on that 4th and final pegboard ascent. Chloe Doven David and Becca Voigt are through the pegboard. Voigt in the blue shirt on the right side of the screen as Margot hanging on for all she's got. If she falls off those pegs, she's going to have to go all the way back down the floor to get some more. And she left one up there. And it's going to be a walk across the floor, a bit of a walk of shame, if you will. Meanwhile, Madeline Sturt is walking across the floor, but she's got a yoke in her hands as she is moving that first weight of 345 pounds smoothly, the first 33 feet.
Very smooth indeed, Brandon. No question she's done this before, because it didn't look like it was an issue at all.
Now, not only are the stack of plates sitting in front of the yoke, so is her weight belt. As she set that in front of that stack, that's a pretty smart move for the youngster.
Well, if you go way, way back into some of those old CrossFit videos, Greg Amundsen used to talk about good housekeeping, making sure that everything was set up where you wanted it. Is the chalk bucket where you want it? Is your water bottle where you need it? Good housekeeping is really important to these veteran athletes and to the people in the gyms at home.
Out in front, it's Madeline Sturt on the left, just 21 years old. On the right, 2nd place, 10-time games veteran Becca Voigt. The 2nd youngest in the field leads, the oldest in the field in 2nd, as Sturt has opened up a huge lead over the rest of the field. She's already through 66 of 99 feet. Becca Voigt is going to be the second one to make her way to the yoke.
As we're watching Sturt load up those plates to 445 pounds, just keep in mind, Brandon, this is 3 1/4 times her body weight. For the people who are watching at home, take out a calculator and do the math. If you weigh 200 pounds, multiply it by 3 1/4. See what you come up with. That's what Sturt's carrying across the floor.
Mentioned it a moment ago, average event finish in the first 2 years of her career was 31.2. This has been a huge jump forward this weekend for 21-year-old out of Australia, Madeline Sturt. She leads the way after heat number 2 and is the first woman under 5 minutes at 4:58.
That was an incredible carry, 33 feet. That's a benchmark that we use all the time, is 50 feet unbroken with 3 times your body weight when you're breathing really heavy, and she made that look really easy. Good on her.
If it wasn't for the platform stopping her, I think she would have gotten the extra 17 feet there on that 50-foot benchmark. As Becca Voigt quickly has made her way down the floor. The first 66 feet, this is the final 33, and the 10th appearance at the games in the open division is in the books for Becca Voigt. Might be the last time we see Becca Voigt on the competition floor, as this, of course, 10th appearance, one of the oldest athletes out here in the games at 37 years old.
Well, Brandon, I remember competing in 2010 and being on the floor in that final event on Sunday afternoon. I know the feeling. It's such a feeling of elation.
Chloe Govan-David, rookie games athlete, 6 minutes, 19 seconds. That will put her in 4th in the event. And for more on Becca Voigt's career, let's go to Mike Arsenault.
I spoke to Becca earlier this morning. I asked her that same question. Will she continue to compete after this year? Even if she doesn't qualify as an individual, she will keep coming back as long as possible as a masters athlete or as a member of a team. That's how much she loves this sport. That's how much she loves this community.
Becca Voigt, obviously a mainstay at the games, has competed every year since 2008. Saw Ike Gilbert complete in this event in 4th, 6 minutes 48 seconds. Courtney Haley a couple of feet away from being our 5th finisher. She'll hop up onto the platform to end her rookie campaign. 5th in the heat, 7 minutes 12 seconds. Margot Alvarez, the winner of the marathon row. Getting a nice boost from this crowd here in Madison. 10,000 packing the house at the Coliseum. As a couple of athletes left working on the pegboard. It's Camilla Solomonson-Hellman on the right, Whitney Yulin on the left. Yulin has completed just 1 pegboard ascent, Solomonson-Hellman 3. And we won't see any more attempts before the 8-minute time cap for either. So while 2 still on the pegboard, we got a new top time to beat, and it's by the second youngest athlete in the field, 21-year-old Madeline Sturt, in at 4 minutes 58.97 seconds.
Brandon, again, I said it in the beginning, I love this event because it's so technical. And we can see here Margot Alvarez and Camilla Solomonson-Hellman fall off the pegboard at exactly the same time. And if you look here, Sturt came out to a huge lead leading into her 2nd and 3rd carries. She was all by herself out there, finishing with that 445-pound yoke. She did it unbroken with no drops, didn't even waver. You can see her legs stable underneath her. Not much movement left to right or front to back. She's totally focused on exactly what she's doing and how far she's got to get to with that yoke. She ends up taking the heat win at 4 minutes and 58 seconds.
Madeline Sturck, first woman to go sub-5, 4:58.97. Becca Voigt, 5:35.63. That'll be good for third overall in the event as we are through 2 of 4 heats. And if you're looking for a spoiler time in a couple of different tight points races on the women's side, Madeline Sturck currently holds that spoiler position. Heat number 3, just a moment away.
Four days of competition, 13 events, and now the final test, the 14th event of the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games. It is AENEAS. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Sean Woodland, alongside 2009 CrossFit Games champion Tanya Wagner, and Mike Arsenault is on the competition floor, and the pegboard has returned.
It's back. We have a nice little repeat skill with 4 pegboard ascents, followed by light thrusters, 40 repetitions at 55 pounds. And the ladies are going to do a yoke carry. There's 3 sections of yoke carry, and the weight goes up starting at 345, and it's going to end with 445. There's an 8-minute time cap for this event.
And the time to beat belongs to Maddie Sturck, 4:58.97 seconds. 10 women in this third of 4 heats who are looking to get themselves into the top 10, and right now nobody has more momentum than Tanil Berline in lane number 7.
She's coming off her best event finish, 4th place in that handstand walk, and I expect her to do really well if she can get to that yoke. And Alessandra Pacelli, another woman with a best event finish of 4th place, but that was in the CrossFit total, so she as well will have no problem with that yoke. It'll just be how quick she can get through these pegboard ascents.
Third of 4 heats has begun, and it starts on the pegboard, 4 trips. up and down.
The biggest thing with this pegboard is just know when to go. If you have the stamina and the muscular endurance to just come right down and go right back up, that's fine, but don't get caught up in the race. The other thing is when they get to the yoke, it's really going to be about your pacing there as well. You can get pretty caught up in other people's strides, and that could mess you up. So it's important this entire event really to stay in your lane.
Amanda Barnhart is having trouble with this, and she is one of the athletes who has never done this before in competition.
Now, there's been a lot that's going on in competition this entire week, but here's the thing. If you come into the games and you don't have this skill, shame on you, because Dave Castro, director of the games, told everybody his big clue for this year was know your history of the games. If he brings something back, he expects that everyone can do it. These ladies should all be able to complete 4 pegboard ascents, but they have done a lot. Their grip has been smoked and taken through the ringer, so I can't imagine she hasn't, seeing what proficient rookie she's been. She's really dominated a lot of events that were really impressive. So I can't imagine she doesn't have the strength to do it. I believe she's just fatigued.
Top 3, Camila Blanc-Bazinet on the left of your screen is through 3 of those 4 trips up and down the pegboard. Camille Burline is in the maroon top in the box to the upper right. And next to her is Bethany Shadburn. Church, another rookie, she is also through 3 of those 4.
Tania looks nice and strong. She's keeping a little bent arm. That's key. Staying in control. She's a great balance with her feet here. Making sure she gets that peg right where it needs to be.
Gets it below the red line. She can hop off, and now it is on to the thrusters at 55 pounds. 40 repetitions. Camille Burline, your leader. There are 60 total repetitions in this event. And Burline threw 11 of them.
This part of the event is really just a nuisance, and it's meant to trip you up if you let it and get your heart rate really high, but these athletes are really smart. It isn't their first rodeo. They know what awaits them. The last thing you want to do going to a heavy yoke is have your heart rate high and be breathing. So they're taking these at a moderate pace. At that weight, they really can go a lot faster, but really they're just managing these.
Camille Burline still leads. She is through 24 of the 60 total repetitions. They will get repetition credit when they are on the yoke for every line they cross while carrying that thing. But right now it's all about that barbell. 44 is the number that Burline needs to hit before she can move to the yoke. And she'll stop at 34 and take a quick break. Camille Blanc-Bazinet, meanwhile, takes the lead by a rep. Rookie E. Church now in front through 37 and counting. Church and Burline in the lead. And E. Church, the full-time corrections officer, moves to the yoke at 345 pounds. Camille Burline tightens her belt. She and Bethany Shadburn, and now Amanda Barnhart was going back down the floor to get another peg. And E. Church makes quick work of that first yoke carry. Now she'll load it to 405 pounds. Camille Burline is through her first yoke carry. Bethany Shadburn and Caroline Riza-Thibault, Camila Blanc-Bazinet towards the top of your screen in the blue pants. And E. Church is off on yoke carry number 2, 405. And that was no problem.
She's so strong. She really can move so quick, even with that heavier load. I expect nothing different here. She is well under her max. She can handle a lot more, so this is truly a sprint.
Camille Burline loading up her yoke to 445, and E. Church at the top of your screen, the rookie, looking to smash the tie to beat. And she is in, and E. Church is your new leader in the final event. 4:33.72 seconds.
She just demolished that yoke.
Burline is across. Bethany Shadburn comes in. Caroline Riza-Thibault, your leader on the floor. And Caroline Riza-Thibault, no problem. She goes unbroken as well. And her CrossFit games come to a close. Camila Blanc-Bazinet trudging towards the finish line, and the 2014 fittest woman on earth is in. Alessandra Pacelli is across. And Mackenzie Riley over the finish line.
The feeling for these ladies to be able to wrap up their CrossFit Games, knowing this was it, giving it your all, and hauling that 445 pounds down the field. That's awesome.
Jamie Green is in. China Cho and Amanda Barnhart, the only two athletes left on the floor. Cho, a Games veteran, making her 6th career appearance here at the CrossFit Games, and now has one final yoke carry before she has completed the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games. Amanda Barnhart has yet to complete a pegboard ascent. And right now has been relegated to a spectator. China Cho looking to go unbroken, 445 pounds on the yoke. China Cho is done. So Amanda Barnhart is the only woman left on the floor, and right now she is speaking with head judge Adrian Bosman about something. Camila Blanc-Bazinet is coming back. And I guarantee you this crowd is not going to let Amanda Barnhart not make another attempt, assuming physically she's okay.
And that may be the discussion. One of the rules at the CrossFit Games always is athletes must continue to attempt to make forward progress. So even if she feels like she can't make this, what does it matter anymore? It does matter to keep trying to make forward progress. And it matters to this crowd because there's nothing more than right now they'd love to see her get her first climb.
Camila Blanc-Bazinet trying to coach Amanda Barnhart through this, and she just can't seem to get the hang of it. And again, she's a rookie, so she has not been in a CrossFit competition where they have seen this piece of equipment. 30 seconds to go. Barnhart starting to make some progress. 20 seconds before the cap. And Amanda Barnhart gave it a try, but just could not get there as the crowd encouraging her to get to the top of that thing, but will not happen. And Amanda Barnhart had an impressive debut at the CrossFit Games. Unfortunately, it ends for her without completing the final event. But E. Church, another rookie in this field, no problems whatsoever. 433.72 seconds.
Amanda Barnhart wasn't able to even complete one. She struggled right from the beginning. But Tennille Burline led this thing with the pegboard ascent. She was so fast, up and down for her 4. She led the way until we got to that yoke. But once it was the yoke, E. Church took over. She literally ran away with this. Her stride was so strong, ran the first 2 weights, and was just so solid. Did not make that thing look as heavy as it is. Super impressive finish for her rookie's season here at the CrossFit Games.
E-Shirt, somebody check those weights. She ripped through that thing and now has the new time to beat, 433.72 seconds. Tennille Burline finishes in second, and it's Bethany Shadburn in third, and then 3 Canadians behind them. 3 heats are down. The final heat is next. Spots on the podium are at stake, and we will have it for you when the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games continue.
give this a shot, Jake.
And he started talking to Bob there on the floor. I'm pretty sure he was just making sure that she was okay, that she wasn't injured, that nothing was going on there where she needed help on the floor. It was just a problem with the pegboard. He saw Camille come over and try to cheer her on. And even though she wasn't going to finish the event, that was clear. She still gave it one last round on the pegboard. That's what it's all about.
We look here at the top 5 thus far, and the top 10, I should say, at this point of the game. It is a little tighter race than it was going into the Coliseum today. Claire Toomey essentially needs to finish in the top 25 to guarantee victory, but if Laura Horvath, who has some rock climbing in her background, is able to come away with the win, Claire Toomey struggles with one of these apparatuses, was not able to finish, there could be an opening for Laura Horvath to walk through it in the rookie year, claiming the title of finished woman on her events. Ahead of you, you've seen it 3 times already, following up, 4 pegboard descents, 40 thrusters, and then a grand total of 99 feet of yoke carry, starting at 345 pounds and topping out at 445 pounds. Jason, I'll start with you. Having seen this event 3 times through, what are the leaders thinking to themselves in terms of strategy?
I would say Claire should be pretty comfortable in what she needs to do. She needs to have a decent event. She doesn't have to blow herself up on the pegboards. We saw that thrusters aren't an issue. It's a lightweight for the thrusters. And then on the yoke carry, it's just get the work done you're supposed to need to get done. Horvath is kind of the same position for second place. Is that, she's 7 points out of first.
Hey guys, so Laura Horvath currently second place, 64 points ahead of Cara Saunders. If she maintains a podium position, she'll be the youngest woman to podium since Annie Thorsdottir in 2010.
Gotcha.
I don't have that. Good. That's awesome. Yes. Okay, perfect.
Probably coming back, so there's no reason to think Claire Toomey wouldn't assume you would see a pegboard, or there would be a chance of it. Is she ready for it? I guess is the question. Will the Toomey show red, white jersey?
Yeah, when I look at too, pegboard, a lot of these athletes have been exposed to this. I'm hoping that they're going to be able to clear it fairly easily. When we look at the yoke, by the time you get there, your legs are pretty blown up. The number one thing I see happening with other athletes on the floor is they don't quite pick it up properly.
One event stands between Tia Toomey and a second straight CrossFit Games championship. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Sean Woodland with 2009 CrossFit Games champion Tanya Wagner as we get set for AENEAS. Tia Toomey, for the first time in a while, comes in on top of the overall leaderboard, solidly in the lead. We expected that. What we did not expect was Laura Horvath, a rookie, sitting in second place.
Laura Horvath is the most impressive rookie I have ever seen, from her physical abilities to her mental awareness throughout the entire week of competition. So impressive to me. She has earned it, and she deserves a spot on the top of the podium.
Laura Horvath will have to face something she has never seen in the competition. Tia Toomey has seen it twice, and that's the pegboard here in the final event.
We have 4 pegboard ascents, followed by 40 thrusters at 55 pounds. And then these ladies are going to carry that yoke, and every 33 feet, they're going to add more weight. It starts at 345 pounds, and it finishes at 445 pounds.
The top 10 women in the overall standings are on the floor. Tia Toomey will be in lane 5 right in the middle, and Laura Horvath trying to wind up on the podium after these CrossFit Games. If she does, she joins some very elite company, and for more on that, here's Mike Arsenault.
Laura Horvath currently 64 points clear of Cara Saunders in 4th place. If she remains on the podium, she will be the second youngest woman to ever podium. The youngest back in 2010, and that was Annie Thorisdottir, who is also in the heat with Laura Horvath right now.
Thank you, Mike. Cara Saunders is trying to work her way back on the podium for the second straight year. She is only 6 points back of Katrin Davidsdottir for 3rd as Laura Horvath takes the floor, looking to stay in 2nd place and earn a silver medal in her rookie debut at the CrossFit Games.
Laura Horvath, I mean, 2 first-place finishes, so impressive for a rookie, and they weren't even just earlier in the week. It was earlier in the day. To be this strong as a rookie so far into competition, it just shows she really is here to stay.
Tia Toomey, for the last 3 years, has had some nerve-wracking moments in the final event. She has a wide margin right now over Laura Horvath.
She just wears the crown so well. Sean, one event outside of the top 10, and that was on the marathon row, and I have my own suspicion that that was strategically planned out, very cautious. She has just done an excellent job.
Will we have a repeat champion, or will the rookie spoil the party? It's the final heat of the final event of the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games. Tia Toomey working her way up on her first pegboard ascent. As long as she avoids disaster here, she will be crowned the fittest woman on earth for the 2nd straight time.
She's so focused, taking her breath, and that's the key to this event, and specifically this portion. You have to know when to go for these pegboard ascents. Tia Claire took her time, took a breath, and that's really important. When they get to the yoke, it's going to also be important to go at their pace, go with their cadence, don't get tripped up and too caught up with the race, but that's going to be hard to do with these ladies.
Katrin Davidsdottir, meanwhile, is another 2-time champion. She won in 2015 and 2016. She is trying to hold off Cara Saunders for the final spot on the podium, just 6 points ahead of Saunders, who finished 2nd overall in 2017.
Fun little fact about these 2 women, the last time they saw the pegboard ascent, neither one of them could complete the final ascent. And so if we have a case where there is a tie on the leaderboard, that is for these ladies, Katrin Davidsdottir has 2 first-place finishes, and so she would be the one to take the podium position.
Tia Toomey is through her 4th and final pegboard climb. She has to move her score marker. Horvath is on the thrusters. As long as Tia Toomey stays right here with Laura Horvath, it is all over. The time to beat is 4:33.72 seconds. The leader's name will be highlighted in a blue box at the top of your screen. The number of repetitions that person has completed will be in a white box. The The number in the white box next to everyone else's name will indicate how many reps they trail the leader, as Catherine Davidsdottir is now on to the thrusters. And if Davidsdottir finishes ahead of Cara Saunders, now things get really interesting for that third and final spot on the podium. There are 60 total repetitions in this event. At 44 reps, they will move on to the yoke. The first one weighing 345 pounds, and they need to carry it 33 feet as Cara Saunders is now done with the pegboard and on to the thruster. She needs to catch Catherine Davidsdottir. Now Annie Thorisdottir on the left of your screen is on her thrusters, but Saunders has a lot of ground to make up. She's about 20 reps behind Catherine Davidsdottir. This is the battle for the final spot on the podium.
Davidsdottir's just about 20 reps ahead of Saunders, but Saunders is trying to move quickly, and Saunders is very strong when it comes to the yoke. So she is actually pacing these thrusters, and I'm wondering if she's doing it just to maintain her breath.
And now Tia Toomey trying to leave no doubt, moving on to the first yoke carry. 345 pounds, Laura Horvath right next to her. Toomey is done, Horvath is done. They will reload the yoke to 405. Here comes Catherine Davidsdottir trying to work her way onto the podium. The time to beat again, 4:33.72 seconds by E. Church. Here goes Tia Toomey and Laura Horvath on their second yoke carry. That is done now to 4:45.
Watch how Horvath picks up two at a time and she plops them right on. That's very smart.
Tia Toomey getting to work. First, she finished second 2 times. Then she won by 2 points. Now, it is going to be 2 straight. 2 for Toomey. She is the fittest woman on earth. Davidsdottir is in. Laura Horvath also finished. This could be your women's podium. Cara Saunders needs to do damage control right now. Davidsdottir has finished third. That earns her 88 points. Saunders only had a 6-point lead over Davidsdottir for the final spot on the podium. Saunders has got to get in a hurry here. And it's going to be another close call for Cara Saunders. She's across. Saunders will take 5th in the event. That is good for 80 points. Last year she lost to Tia Toomey by 2 points. This year it is looking like unofficially she will miss out on a spot on the podium by 2 points.
And for Cara Saunders, all we've heard was how she was focused and ready. This is a disappointing finish for her, but she has had a solid effort and a solid games.
Annie Thorisdottir comes across. What a resurgence this woman has had.
For the past few years, we had wondered how Annie was doing. Was she going to be done with her CrossFit Games career? But last year, she surprised us taking a third. This year, showing she can stay up here in the top.
Kristen Holta is in. Last year, Annie Thorisdottir on the podium. The 2 years before that in the CrossFit Games, 8th. She was 13th in 2016, 38th and had to withdraw in 2015.
She wanted to make sure that we knew she was still here to stay, and I think a lot of that also comes from Catherine Davidsdottir winning and all of the press there in Iceland.
Cara Saunders is trying to get Christy Aramo across the finish line, giving her some coaching cues from the finish.
What Aramo needs to do is get the momentum and get that yoke started by coming up and driving into it like she did there. Cara Saunders gave her a little tip that helped.
Aramo has the finish line just a couple of steps away. She has plenty of time to get there. The time cap is 8 minutes. And now Christy Aramo is in.
And she worked for that finish.
Cassie Lance McWhorter and Brooke Wells are the only 2 women left on the floor. Wells is still on the pegboard. Lance McWhirter is on the thrusters, and this is shocking for Brooke Wells. This is the third time she's seen this at the games.
This is what I don't understand about some athletes, that she is capable, she is strong. I feel like she just hasn't figured it out. Maybe she just hasn't put the work in here for these pegboard ascents. Or is it that, sometimes what haunts us is the bad memories, and sometimes you can't get those out of your head. And so, similar to what we saw Toomey there at the end have a little stumble and a little bobble, is that what goes through her head? She watched that so many times last year that kind of happens. We play that through our heads. I can't help but wonder if that's what's happening here with Brooke Wells.
Wells is not going to be able to get there as we have 20 seconds to go. She's actually going to have to make her way down the floor to get some more pegs, and that's not going to happen. But that woman, for the second straight time, the fittest woman on earth, and the other 3 times that she's been in contention, she's had to wait to the final announcement. I can't imagine what was going through her head then. Now, I'm sure there are no butterflies.
I can only imagine this is a much more enjoyable experience here winning this one.
We came into the 2018 CrossFit Games with 2 women who have won 2 championships. There are now 3. Annie Thorisdottir, Catherine Davidsdottir, and Tia Toomey. And she is with Mike Arsenault.
Tia, last year it took you to the final feat of the competition to be crowned fittest on earth. This year was domination from start to finish. What has been the main contribution to the increase in your physical and mental strength over the last 12 months?
Just hard work and commitment. Yeah.
Being the defending champion comes with increased expectations, responsibilities, and attention from fans, media, and sponsors. So how do you juggle the increased scrutiny and continue to come back fitter than you were 12 months ago?
Yeah, he is. Woo! Where is Shane? In all honesty, it just is that much easier because of all of you. Yeah.
Thank you, Tia, the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games champion.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you all.
Tia Toomey has joined some very elite company. Of course, Rich Froning has won 4 individual titles at the CrossFit Games. Matt Fraser is en route to winning 3, but Tia Toomey has joined Annie Thorisdottir and Catherine Davidsdottir as the only women to win 2 CrossFit Games championships, and she was impressive from the very beginning.
She just has no holes in her game. She deserves the title. She came out on fire. She was determined. She was focused from this first pegboard ascent to the final step. She was just dominant. Even though she had to go back and move her chip, didn't let it fluster her. She just stayed the course, chipped away at each portion of this event, even though the rookie was breathing down her neck. Horvath kept that pressure on all the way till the end. She actually did almost a repeat of last year with that bobble right before the end. Here's where the pressure is. Right at the end, it's a race. Little stumble, she has to stop, similar to last year, but the pressure wasn't as much. It didn't cost her anything. She still knew she had it in the bag.
Final overall standings as Tia Toomey celebrates with the crowd. Laurel Horvath on the podium, Davidsdottir on the podium, and it turns out that she gained more points on Cara Saunders than we initially thought. So Cara Saunders will finish in 4th place, but Catherine Davidsdottir back on the podium. But Tia Toomey, obviously a big story, but there is a new contender now for the women, and her name is Laura Horvath. Catherine Davidsdottir celebrating with some of her fans as well. Does not achieve the goal that I know she wanted, but will be happy to be on the podium.
Missing out on that podium last year just left a sting.
Tia Toomey still on the floor soaking it in. And she is the 2018 fittest woman on earth. Laura Horvath, Tia Toomey, and Catherine Davidsdottir. They are all on the podium. Who will it be for the men? We will find out next.